Welcome to UnTangled. I'm your hostess, Carollee, and this is all about unraveling the wisdom that is hidden really deeply at times in life's tangled moments, trying to find the chaos in that clarity, trying to find the clarity in that chaos, and, just really taking a look at as what lesson is to be learned in struggle. I'm kind of free forming it today. Normally, I have a subject studied and ready of what I want to go over on my podcast, but today I'm free forming it and I'm really going to touch base with what a lot of my followers have been asking me about. Um, if you don't know, I'm a mature 50-year-old woman and I'm really into health, well being, fitness, nutrition, being as healthy as I can possibly be with the knowledge that I have, seeking out knowledge to even become healthier, and really doing all I can to age gracefully, but also naturally. And I do highlight my hair, so that's unnatural, but everything else is natural. I don't have Botox, and I realize that we all don't age in the same way, but I'm choosing to age naturally. I don't condone any Botox or plastic surgery that other people do, but it's not my thing right now. And I don't know if I'll change my mind later, but I'm just not into it. I'm really trying to age slowly through mindset and through nutrition and health. And I believe that that's a thing. I believe that you can be timeless and ageless and youthful at any age. I mean, look at Jane Fonda. Fucking amazing, right? Look at J Lo. She's fucking 52. I'm like, I want to follow in her footsteps. Woo. Like fucking A. And both these women express it's their mindset. Uh, Like, I believe Jane Fonda said something like, you only get better with age. And I have to fucking agree. I feel like I keep getting better and better. And I'm not saying that I won't have to adjust how I work out at the gym or adjust training as I age. I may have to. I haven't had to slow down yet. And until that comes, I'll face it then. But daily mindset is a big deal. And I know JLo will has affirmations that she says every day that she is youthful and timeless. And I have something very similar to that. I don't look at age. I don't stare at my wrinkles. I don't look at them as a negative. I believe I've earned every one of them. But the thing we're going to discuss today is because I've had several questions from followers on how to get started on going to the gym or working out, and how they keep doing it for a little while and something will happen, an obstacle will get in the way and it kind of throws them off. So one of the very first things to understand is having achievable goals and realistic expectations, because I think a lot of times what we do to ourselves is we see these actresses on TV who have babies, and then the next time we see them, their bodies look amazing. And we look at that and think that that is achievable, or we see things on Instagram that make us believe that, oh, these people have done it. I should be able to do it. But one of the biggest things you need to understand is losing weight in a healthy way so your body is not going through anything unhealthy and your skin is able to be elastic, and um, you only can lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. So rushing it, first of all, having some goal that you want to lose 5 pounds a week is just, it's not healthy if you do it, and it's largely unattainable by most all of us other people. Um, I may have lost a dramatic amount of weight in my youth before I figured out what works for me, which I think that's another thing. Not everything works for everybody, and you need to figure out your own thing by testing and experimenting what works for you, where you have fun in fitness, where you have fun in nutrition. Um, until you test all those things out and see what works for you can't like, let's say you decide to go on a keto diet, and 2 weeks in, you're like, I haven't lost anything. This isn't working. Or let's say you're going to the gym and an obstacle comes in your way of, like, let's say your kid gets sick and you can't hit the gym. You need to stay home with your kid. And you're like, well, that's fucked up. That's ruined. I can't do that now. Um, Planning for these things, realistic expectations, achievable goals, and planning for obstacles. These are the key ways that you are going to turn this into a lifestyle rather than just, oh, I've lost the weight, it's over, I can go back to life as normal. Because let me tell you a story. That is what I used to do. Are you ready? I got pregnant at 19 years old, and I was an active young girl. Um, But when I got pregnant, I thought I was eating for two. And I took that very seriously and increased my calories right a lot. I was 120 pounds when I got pregnant, actually 119. And by the time I had my son, I was almost 200 pounds. I think 197 or 196. It might as well just be 200 pounds. And after I had him, I think I lost 23 pounds, maybe. So I was 170 something, 173 maybe. So that's a big difference between 120 and 173. So 8 months, I I believe I did it right that time. I was working out, doing aerobics every day. I probably dropped my calories a little too low for that. Um, I was breastfeeding. You have to think of that. I was breastfeeding, um, working out, doing aerobics, and I probably was not eating healthy food. I just was restricting calories to probably like 1,800 calories a day. I knew that it was important that my son was getting nutrition, so I was not starving myself. That was very important to me. So I lost the weight and then 10 months later proceeded to get pregnant with my cute little daughter. I love her dearly, but I had gotten my figure back. I believe I was 123 when I got pregnant with her. And this time I learned my lesson. And although my diet wasn't super in check, I believe I ate a lot of spaghetti and um, it just was a lot of processed foods. Even though I kept it at um, a decent calorie amount, when I got pregnant with her, I was working out every day up until I had her. Well, 2 weeks before I had her, I was exercising. So I only gained 30 pounds. Um, I think it was because I was exercising why I was pregnant with her. It easily came off afterwards. Um, as the kids became toddlers, it was harder and harder for me to keep the weight off as I was working full time as a mom. There was a lot of stress. I was having panic attacks when my kids were little. Um, I gained weight when I got this job that was very stressful and I was being yelled at every day. And the weight just came on. I think because I was sitting in an office 8 hours a day and I'd never done that before. Before I knew it, I was like 135 pounds. So I would do these starvation things, these yo-yo starvation things where I would lose it and then start eating my um Like I thought I was eating healthy, eating those air puff rice cake things with caramel on them. I really didn't, I had no clue about nutrition. No one had ever taught me anything. And I'm not sure it was something that was like readily taught back then. Um, so that waxed and waned for a while. And then, gosh, I must have been 28-ish. I really started getting into fitness, um, real fitness, reading fitness magazines. And I know that has a lot of like trendy information in it, but that's where it started. And then I became a personal trainer. And why I was going to school to be a personal trainer, there was like a nutritionist program too. And I became really good friends with a girl who was in that program and really got a lot of deep rooted information on nutrition. And this changed my life. Really understanding what sugar and flour and processed foods do to you. I became dedicated to, if I was going to be a personal trainer and tell people how they needed to eat to lose weight, I needed to become this person. So I made a commitment to do that. And it wasn't easy, but one thing I did was I didn't allow myself to eat out, which was weird at first, really fucking weird. Um, we would go out to eat, my family, my husband at the time, and my kids, and let's say they would go to Chili's, and I would sit there and I wouldn't eat. And what I did is I told myself that I could only have this one restaurant, which it was Qdoba. Shout out to Qdoba. And I would get a naked taco salad every time that I ate out. That was it. No chips, no soda. I would have water. If I was going to eat out, that was the only exception. Because I had this rule, it became very easy to just be like, I'm not eating here when we're at Chili's. I'm not eating at Cattle Company. I'll sit there with my family and then I'll eat afterwards. I would keep things in my purse like protein bars, sometimes gum, which probably isn't the best idea, but just to get me through until I could get to a healthier meal option. But that's how I did it. 2 years I didn't eat out. I I worked at a place that had these mass cubicles of people, and my cubicle had a table in front of it, and everybody would bring their treats like a couple of times a week, and it would be right in front of my desk. And I I wouldn't allow myself to have any of it unless there was fruit or vegetables there. So I was prepared of what I could eat was what I brought, Qdoba, fruits and vegetables, and if I if I did screw up and eat something I shouldn't, it wasn't life altering. I'd just be like, "Oh, just back to the way it was." I didn't really do cheat meals for 2 years. So this allowed me to become extremely dedicated to my nutrition. And it changed my life forever. Another thing that I did is I worked out at home. I was I was a runner, so I had a treadmill at home. I did P90X and I also had a Bowflex at home. But I created this situation where I had no obstacles. So the minute I got home, I had my clothes laid out to get dressed in and then just go right to work out. If the kids needed something, I would say, okay, well, come meet me upstairs in the workout room and I'll talk to you about it up there while I'm working out. Like, I just would go directly there. Granted, if you have an emergency, I'm not speaking of those times. You may have to adjust your days off. Um, So if you have an emergency one day, you then switch, oh, this was my day off. Now tomorrow's not my day off. These were just things that I did that made this a lifestyle for me. So as you can see, I had realistic expectations. I didn't look at it as, when I started, I didn't look at it as, oh, my body needs to be this way right now. I took that off the table for me. I think that is motivation for some people, but for me, I was looking to make this a lifestyle, and I was excited by the body that I was going to get from it, but it wasn't like the main issue for me. I wanted to be healthy. And I don't know if I told you this too. I was having kidney stones. And that was another motivating factor to me. I never wanted to have those again. They were super fucking painful. And I believe it was my lifestyle before that that caused those. And I haven't had a kidney stone since 2007, which is amazing. Um, I keep saying which is super disappointing. I think that's what happens when you don't pre-plan your discussion, is there might be a few ums in there. But anyway, I digress because I distracted myself with my ums. But if you would like to change your life and get healthy, if losing weight is your goal, if optimizing your health is your goal, and you just don't know how, having realistic expectations, number one, don't expect yourself to have some athletic body in 2 months. It doesn't work that way. It can take a year, it can take a year and a half. But if you let that stand in your way, a year and a half goes by super fucking fast. Like you don't realize. If you ever look at Instagram, you'll see like these timelines of these girls who went from being extremely overweight and now they're like bodaciously athletically hot. It happens before you know it. If you have kids and you watch them grow, like one minute they're newborns, the next minute they're toddlers and they're running around. Don't let how long that's going to take stop you, because it's like going for anything, right? Like your college degree, if you're like, fuck, I need 200 credits, that's never gonna get that. I remember that feeling. It felt like you're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Realistic expectations. Be okay with where you are and look at this as a journey and have fun with the journey. Enjoy the process, because anytime you're changing something, it's a new experience and you're choosing to go outside of your comfort zone, and it can be hard, so be easy on yourself. Achievable goals and getting rid of obstacles. These are like the three greatest ways to make this a lifestyle. Sugar, flour, processed foods. If you can eliminate those from your life, you're going to start feeling differently. You're going to start feeling more energized. I tell you, when I have a cheat meal now, it's not often, but because I have sugary stuff so rare, but sometimes when I do, I'm like, this is why I don't eat this way. It's a reminder of how shitty it makes me feel. And anyway, I hope this helps you get started on your fitness and nutrition journey. I'd love to fucking hear about how it's going for you. If you are needing some tips and tricks and ideas to figure out your discipline, because let me tell you, we don't always feel motivated. And if you don't feel motivated, there's like tips and tricks you can do to just be disciplined and go anyway. But I'd love to hear about your journey. Tell me all about it. I'm going to say goodbye for now. I'm going on vacation in a few days. I'm pretty excited about it, but don't worry, UnTangled will be there for you. But if you're trying to untangle a mess, I am chatting about all sorts of subjects on improving our lives or just trying to be better people. And I'm going through shit myself, always trying to do better and be better. And I hope some of my tips and tricks that I've learned along the way help you out. But I'd also love to hear if you have tips and tricks that you're doing that I've never heard of that maybe you'd like me to talk about. But I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.